Welcome to our Devos, where we have been looking at building habits, building good habits that help to essentially form the life that we live. Now, today I want to pause on how to build those habits, and I want to really zone in on what happens when we are doing the opposite. Yes, it's possible to do the opposite of what we're talking about, which is we allow bad habits to reign over our lives. And that's just as problematic as not building good ones, because your habits are going to determine where you end up. Keep this in mind. Bad habits produce a bad life. Bad habits produce a bad life. You are not going to be a healthy person who is constantly eating 6 or 7 types of desserts a day. Like if that's a habit where you're like, ooh, in the morning I have pancakes with syrup, and in the afternoon I have like a hot fudge sundae, and at night I'm going to have some cookies, after I finish my meal. Like if that's your habit, healthiness is not going to come to you. Your habit is already determining the kind of life you are having because that habit is already installed. So sometimes that bad habits that we let go are more important and more affecting on our lives than the good habits that we want to adopt. So I want to encourage you to really examine how bad habits might be chiseling away at the 2023 you want to have. Let's take a look at what Jesus says through the prophet, or what God says, I should say, through the prophet Jeremiah in the time before Jesus. This is when Jeremiah is speaking to the people. He's speaking from God's perspective. He says, I spoke to you in your prosperity, but you said, I will not listen. This has been your practice from your youth, that you have not obeyed my voice. Israel is in a very critical time at the writing of this prophet. And so they're in captivity. There's a lot of calamity going on, a lot going on with the leadership. And what God is saying is the reason why you're not listening to my voice now is because you have had the habit of never listening to my voice. Therefore, because of this, you're not listening. You're not going to listen. You're not going to hear. You're not going to hearken to my voice and my message. It's going to be a problem for you. That's exactly what happens with habits. Whatever bad habit you are used to entertaining, that's going to determine how your life looks and how your 2023 shapes up. So before we go gung-ho on just building all these good habits, let's really examine, are there some habits that are leading us in a direction that God doesn't want us to go?